Hi, this is Richard Kim, life coach, and this is the second session of six. Six simple steps to change your life for the better. In the first, we looked at purpose. And if you're still struggling with this, there are lots of good sites on the internet where you can look at your character strengths or your personality trait. One that I looked at, I think it was VIA, and it looked at character strengths. And there's 24 of these, and then it's depending on the questions that you answer, it shuffles all the results around. And so, for instance, my top 5 came out at honesty, number 1. Number 2, appreciation of beauty and excellence. Number 3, spirituality. Number 4, love. Number 5, fairness. If I look to the bottom of the list, it's quite interesting, this actually. Leadership was 23. It's funny that, because in some ways, I'm quite good at leading, but I think I prefer to sort of take the sort of second in command type role. And then the last one was teamwork, which again surprised me a bit, because I'm a good team member, conscientious, all that sort of thing. And when I was playing football, I got Players Player of the Year, so I was sort of well liked. But I think I probably do work better individually, which is probably the reason why I've become a life coach. Anyway, that's the character strengths. You can also look at your personality type. Now, there's 16 of these. I think it was the Myers-Briggs test. And this was an interesting one of those synchronicities, meaningful coincidences, because I'd already embarked on the life coach training, and I just did this exercise, and it came out and it said, possible careers for you are life coaching or counselling or teaching. So it was affirmation that I was doing the right thing. After a lot of soul searching and I don't know, trying out different jobs, and I've done various other things which have all used those sort of skills I have, the sort of listening skills and social skills. But yeah, it was good to know that I'm sort of on track. Anyway, I've talked too much about number 1, purpose. Number 2, this is the second, and we're going to be looking at the wheel of life. Now, this is a main exercise used by most life coaches. It's a fairly simple exercise, but it can have so much sort of depth to it, and it's a good starting point for one-to-one discussions. So, yeah, you can do this at home. All you've got to do is simply draw a big circle. I'll show you one. An example. So you draw a big circle, divide it into 8 segments, top to bottom, right to left, or left to right, and 2 diagonals. So you get your 8 spokes or segments. It's a bit like a bicycle. And then on the outside of the circle, you can put your headings. So these are any 8 headings that you wish to put in, but try and get them so it sort of contains every aspect of your life. So I'll give 8 examples, and then you can use those or substitute them with better words, if you've got another word that's more appropriate to you. So here we go. I suggest the following 8. Number 1, health or fitness. Number 2, relationship or special friend. So that's usually one person, it could be more. Number 3, that's other family and friends. Number 4, career, or it could be job, or it could be college, could be university, or retirement even. Number 5, that's your sort of personal development or training or your motivation, get up and go. Number 6, money. Can't escape from money. Number 7, fun and entertainment. Might be leisure, might be holidays. Number 8, I've got down spiritual, but it could be community service, it could be environment, anything sort of community related type stuff. Anyway, once you've chosen your 8 headings, which suit your own lifestyle, you'll give each of these areas or segments, areas of your life, a score from 1 to 10. Don't give it a 0, because you must be, you're not sort of just lying down doing nothing all day, hopefully. Anyway, this is the scoring system that I use. So number 1 is disastrous. That area of your life isn't going very well at the moment. Number 2, very poor. 3, poor. 4, below average. 5, average. 6, above average. 7, quite good. 8, good. 9, very good. And 10, incredible. Right. So you score every area of your life on that scale, 0 to 10. And then you colour in accordingly. So this is an example of one that's coloured in. Another example. Right. So like I say, you can do that at home. You can colour in your segments if you're particularly artistic. And yeah, so if you've got 10 out of 10, that would go right to the outside of the circle, whereas 5 would go halfway. When you've done all this, you've got basically an overview of your life, and you can start asking yourself 1 or 2 simple questions. Like, are you having a bit of a bumpy ride at the moment? So if it isn't very round, it's almost like, going over a bump in the road. There may be some areas of your life where you're having a bit of difficulty at the moment. You should do it, like I say, at this current time. So you might have been 10 at one point, but now, for instance, with all this stuff that's going on at the moment in isolation, your community might have been 9 or 10 before, but now it might be 2 or 3. But anyway, yeah, it should be what it is now. Ask yourself other questions. Does anything surprise you? Are you happy with how it looks? You might have 6 in every segment, and your life's quite going along quite merrily, so you might have a sort of very smooth ride. The only thing there is I would sort of question whether you could just, take a few more risks, go try different ventures and everything, because you might be missing out on the 7s, 8s, 9s, 10s. And is there one particular area of your life that requires special attention? You might want to focus all your energy on getting one thing right, because often life coaches find that there sometimes can be one area of your life. If you get that sorted, you're absolutely buzzing and rolling and in the flow and all that sort of thing. So you've given your numbers. Now the next part is quite interesting, because you think of each section and you think, what would it be like to have a 10 in that segment? So for instance, 10 for money. For some people, it might be just getting by each day. That might be 10 to them. That's all all they aspire to. For some people, it might be having a big house. For some people, it might be being a millionaire. It depends how you set your own boundaries, really. So yeah. And the interesting thing with this is when you think about what a 10 looks like in each one of the segments, you are then starting to do a visioning technique. You're trying to vision what it would be like to be 10 out of 10 in all the different areas, and your life will be absolutely ideal. So yeah. So some people I've read in other books have their own scrapbook. So you might have each of the 8 headings, and you might have 8 pictures that denote what success or what 10 out of 10 looks like in that area. So in money, it might be, I don't know, you with a picture of you with a big yacht or something. Or if it was health, it might show you with great big muscles and looking the picture of health. So that's another sort of visioning technique, or something to keep, a sort of something to hold in mind when you're aiming for that 10 out of 10. So I should say at this point that in some instances, you might never be able to get a 10 with the headings you've used. So for instance, in health, if you've got a long-term illness, you might only be scoring 3 out of 10, and it probably could never get to more than that. So I think in this instance, you're best, although that's the reality in effect, but you can change that into a positive and think of it, instead of health, you might think of fitness. You might be able to do gentle exercises to sort of improve your health, your fitness. So that becomes a sort of different heading by which you can sort of still get progression. So even though you're only a 3, you can sort of aim for transferring that to fitness, which might be a 7 or something like that. So you can still aim for more. You can do more exercises that help, or I don't know, help to improve your mental fitness or whatever. So yeah, that's a practical way of turning a sort of negative into a positive. So, like I say, once you've drawn your wheel, if you're artistic, you'll colour it in. And that's about it. I mean, it's quite a short session, this, but it's a lot of exciting homework, because you can sort of look at all these different areas and think about how you could improve. So the next session is going to be session number 3, which we'll be looking at creating your own positive daily habits. So I'm looking forward to that next week. And I'll remind you of my purpose, who I am. I'm Richard Kim, life coach. What I do, I encourage and support others to look more deeply into their own lives and how to make a difference. I help people change their life for the better. My website is www.richardkim.co.uk. My email is richkimlife@gmail.com. And as I said before, this sort of is just going over the surface about what sort of thing you'd cover in life coaching. Obviously, in a one-to-one session, I do video sessions. You can go into a lot more depth, and I can basically, as a team, you and I can start to bring out the magnificence in you. So I think without more ado, take care, keep smiling, and look forward to seeing you next week.